Valencia brought us.
Good morning, everybody. I just
Good
want to
morning.
say it's 64 degrees outside, not 82 like it was the other day, and it rained a little bit. So I just wanted to share some weather because it's been so off and on, in general with weather, just like everything else going on in the world. Some days are good, some days are bad. A lot of it is all about how do we cope with it? How do we kind of what's our resiliency monitoring strategies to kind of still make it through the day. I've got a couple of awesome people with me. Miss Paris Holly, extraordinaire. She does so many things with us. She's our intern at the BEU, helps us do different projects here and volunteering. But then also, Miss Paris, she is a former financial Jeopardy contestant, and that's important for today because we also have Miss Nicole E. I say Nicole E, but Miss Nicole Ursery, and she's with us. And if you can, please, turn your camera on. I know last month we didn't ask, but I told everyone this month we would ask a little bit just so we can just see them here or there, just to talk with us. So if you'd even just give us a quick hello, Miss Nicole.
Hello, I was gonna say I can't really hear, so I was gonna ask for the meeting number so I could put on my computer because I don't know what's going on with my phone right
Okay.
now.
No, good morning, and that's great.
Good
So,
morning.
good morning. So the link that I sent you via text, you can
Mm-hmm.
email that to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
or do you want me to email it to you?
Okay, it's fine. I got my AirPods on now. It's working.
You good?
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Okay. Good. And do you mind like letting us see your awesomeness and kind of turn your camera on just for like 20 seconds and say hello to us, please?
Yes.
And while we are looking forward to seeing Nicole Ursery, let us say to our guests, knowing how busy Valencia brought us continues to be, that it is actually good afternoon.
Oh, it's not morning.
But
Right. We started this morning, Miss Paris and I, Mr. Coleman, and Mr. Coleman with us as well. And that's pretty funny. Thank you, because it is afternoon. We it's interesting. One of the things that we do every Saturday morning, we have a financial empowerment group. There she is. Hello, awesomeness. How are
There
you?
you go.
Hello.
Hello to you.
Hello. And Miss Nicole Ursery, just so you all know, about her fabulousness. She's a student at De La Salle Education Center, but she's studying to be an attorney, and so she's going to be going on a college tour soon. And do you mind telling us about your college tour coming up? What you going to be doing? What's going on?
So basically it's a HBU tour. So we're gonna be going to all different colleges like down south and they basically just giving us an opportunity to meet them and tell them what we want to do. And he said they might give us scholarships like right then and there while we're there. So
Ooh.
he said make sure you have like um whatever you need, bring it out of town with you. So in case they ask, you can get the scholarship right then and there.
Absolutely. So if they need transcript, resumes, everything. And so our
Mm-hmm.
awesome Miss Ursery, Miss Nicole, she's not a senior, so she won't need all of that this time. Um, and I'm making sure that I'm saying that out loud. The great thing though
Mm-hmm.
is that she's being exposed right now so that the more that we can understand, if I want to be an astronaut in 5 years, I got to have a plan though. What's my study plan? What do I need to do? Do I need to do internships? What ACTs do I need now? All this type of stuff. So Miss Ursery, she's and all of our students, they're getting a chance through this program that we're working on to just really get some early awareness and preparation so that when that door of opportunity is for her, she can just knock, walk wide on in and say, here I am. Give me a scholarship. Accept me into your college. I am the one.
Yes.
Yep.
Now let me say, Valencia and Nicole, that
Yes, sir.
you have just given me an opportunity to boast a little bit about daughter Alicia Malloy, who was our very special guest last week. She is a professor in computer sciences at North Carolina Central University and Historical Black College in North Carolina. And she has been appointed, or will be formally in June, as the new Dean of Academic Studies at the Naval Academy Preparatory School. First,
in the call paper, I think.
That is Alicia Malloy. She was on with us last week, and she is adopted daughter, and will be assuming that. But I said that to say that it is an historical Black college, and as a matter of fact, university, North Carolina Central University. And she is an alumnus from Central High School here in Kansas City, Missouri. So my prayer is that Nicole Ursery will at some point meet Dr. Alicia Malloy as she visits HBCUs.
Because she's actually going to several schools in North Carolina, which is interesting.
Oh.
I mean, so right. So that tour, and Mr. Coleman, I know that he's on mute right now, but it's just the Alphas tour that they're going to, and the Alpha Phi Alphas, they do a tour every year, just like FACS does as well, Mr. Carl Price. And so they're going up through that southern border.
Wow,
so
that's good.
Several of them. Several of them. Okay, wonderful. So the next thing I wanted to do was to talk a little bit about our financial Jeopardy competition. And Ms. Paris, can you do me a favor and just because being that you did that, a couple of years ago, tell us a little bit about that experience, and then we're gonna bring Nicole in.
Okay. Great morning, great afternoon, everyone. My name is Paris Holly. Not last year, the year before, I did the financial Jeopardy competition with some more college students. It was a pretty great experience. We got a lot of different education, from making sure we learned about not only our regular financial literacy for like college, because we had to do a lot of different research. We had to have our own team. And that team that we picked was derived from 4 or 5 people in our own network. And we also had a coach. So our coach helped us. I believe Mr. Coleman was my coach. And we read through our books, we read through our packets, got all the information that we needed, and studied so we could be prepared. We got to have our nice little lifeline if we needed it, so we could ask them questions. Let's see, got to learn a little bit about college readiness, how to properly get your money squared away, as well as housing, a little bit of taxes, taxes, and then not bonds. I can't think of the one I want to tell you. It was really exciting though.
Well, that's good. And we'll let Mr. Cole tell some topics too, now, but as a student learning all this financial literacy and all that type of stuff, has it helped you at all since you did that competition a couple years ago? Miss Paris.
Wait, okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
okay.
Ma'am.
Can you repeat that question? Sorry, I was all trying to get you all squared away.
You're awesome. So when you did that Jeopardy a couple of years ago, can you say that since all that stuff you learned, have you used any of it since
Yes. Then? Yes. I've definitely used a lot of the information since then. It's helped me with, while I was in college, I used some of that information, as well as just regular life. So preparing, getting different things prepared for my kids to make sure I'm just, I don't know, a better individual and I'm more financially stable. It helped me really push forward and think like not outside the box, but there's a lot of information that we're not given as a Black culture in general that you would think that we just grow up with. We have that knowledge, and I was able to incorporate that to move forward and help not just myself, but other generations of kids to, you know, just think about it, put it in their ear, give them a little nugget to be better. So yeah. I definitely use it all in different forms. It's not just personally. I try to help other people grow. As some of you guys may know for my other showings on the radio show, that I'm a substitute teacher. I'm an engineer by trade. I'm a mother of twins. So I do a little bit of a lot. And I try
having
to
your financial in better order.
And Valencia brought us, Paris is so wonderful. And let me suggest to you, before you call on our brother Jim Coleman, that I cannot recall when what Paris is talking about has been more pertinent than at a time when we are dealing with a pandemic. We are dealing with international affairs that are causing our finances to go through the roof with what we're dealing with Ukraine and Russia. And when we use the term systemic, minorities and minority women have had to deal with this time immemorial. And here we are with the Black Economic Union to save the day. And while that might sound hyperbolic and all of that, it really is true. So just wanted to throw that in from my perspective. Please, Attorney Broadus and Dr. Jim, go ahead.
Well, what I would like, if we can, with Mr. Coleman, if we can, he just laughs like, what's she gonna say? Who knows? You know? But if you can tell us a little bit about the Alpha's college tour, because then I definitely want to, just tell the world that even though the sign up for this year's this semester's anyway, is passed and they've got all the kids ready for the buses and all that, they need to know this stuff is happening. A lot of us, we don't even know that this is happening. And so, Mr. Coleman, tell us about the tour. And if you remember anywhere they're going, I would love for you to tell us that is too.
Okay, as you said, they're going to some schools in North Carolina. They're going to St. Augustine in Florida, and I believe on their last stop in St. Louis, they're going to stop in at Harris Stowe, and those are the ones that I can remember off the top of my head. The Alphas have been doing this since I believe the late 80s. Mr. Buford started it, and then when he got sick, then now Mr. Maxwell has picked up the baton, and they do it every year. This is the first year since the pandemic, so the first year since 2019, and so those that are interested, that they will actually sign up for next year around, I believe, January of next year. So if you've got students who will be at least in the 10th grade next year, then certainly you can be prepared for that. I know that Mr. Boyd always enjoys hearing that the Alphas are doing something. And so basically that's it. The cost is $500 for the tour plus spending money, and sometimes there are some scholarships available. So real briefly, that's what's going on with the tour.
That's exciting.
Valencia Broadus, let me say this real quickly. Oh, noble Kappa prophesy the pride of.
See, I'm telling y'all, we need it. So, and I know Miss Nicole, you better know what we're doing. But so I'm a Sigma Gamma Rho, he's a Kappa, he's Alpha. And so there's all the different sororities, the Divine Nine. And whenever we can, we make fun of each other. The biggest, just awesomeness thing about, all of us, all the Divine Nine, is that we really are serious about education and helping the community. And we, it's fun competition. Competition is excellent. I mean, really, I don't know about y'all, but I'm the best stepper around and have been. Anyway, I just want to share that, but that's my cane. I just want to say.
Let me tell you something that Brother Coleman just did that I want you to follow up on. When he said, when the next round is coming up, we always like to find out for the parents, the grandparents, and educators how their young people can become a part of it. So thank you, Brother Coleman, for bringing that up, and let's give that information.
Great. And the easiest way would be people can be, let me give my email address, and then I can pass then I can share offline with people the email address from Mr. Don Maxwell Jr., but since I don't know his by heart, my email address is j.e.coleman66@gmail.com. Coleman is Coleman, j.e.coleman66@gmail.com. And anyone interested in the Alpha HBCU tour for next year, I can then pass you on to Mr. Maxwell.
Excellent. Especially with school being back in now, meaning at K through 12, college, everywhere. Things are getting back to normal, meaning as far as activities. The mask and all that's a whole different issue, but meaning just in general, we're back in school. We're making things happen. And Miss Nicole, is it good to be back in school? Are you glad, or would you rather be home online?
I'd rather be in school because I feel like when you're at home, it's too many distractions. And it's like, I won't say it's not motivation at home, but it's like at school, it's always going to be somebody pushing you. It's always going to be somebody on you. And at home, it's not really like that. So I'd rather be at school.
Good. So stay on. Don't mute yourself yet. So now since we're talking about competition with the Divine Nine, let's talk about some competition with the Awesome Six, because we have 6 awesome young people that are going to be competing in the upcoming financial Jeopardy competition. And Nicole E is one of those awesome young ladies. And Miss Nicole, if you could tell the world about this upcoming competition, what would you tell them? Meaning, would you tell them to come? Would you tell them to come study? Would you tell them to donate? Would you tell them? I mean, what would you tell them? So sell it. What we got?
Well, everything you just said, I would tell them that, and especially about the coming part, just to come support, and for the studying part, y'all say y'all gonna go to study or not, so making sure people study. And make sure they got them 4 people to study with at home, or friends, family. It don't matter who it is, but yeah. And we getting paid.
Oh, okay. So are you getting paid, or are you getting a performance stipend? What is it? So tell me what that means. Get paid for doing what?
We getting paid just for showing up and trying. So for the people that just show up and try, they get the $200, and for the people that win, for the person that wins, they get the $400.
Right, yeah. They get double. And so when you think about, sometimes people say, why are we even giving students money to go to school? They should just go learn. So you're already in school, you're already learning. With this competition, there's 14 different topics that you guys are studying, and outside of school, 14 different topics. And they have to, if anyone of you guys know Jeopardy, then they have to be able to take the answer of a question that they studied about. And if someone says, the past book that you use to help make sure that you're able to pay for things. And they have to say, what is a checkbook? So they have to know the answers, but also they have to put it in a form. So we're teaching them competition skills and just some confidence and all that. Can you tell us like 3 or 4 of the topics that you guys have been studying with your family?
One of them is making money. One of them is living on your own. Another one is banking service. And then, credit, another one.
Man, that credit one is serious for all of us. And thank you for that, because what happens is with all those different topics, personal finance is one of the things that has really, it's not taught in middle school. It's not taught in high school, and they expect kids to graduate, meaning we've given them all this education. They graduate, and then they get out here, go to college. Colleges throw all these credit cards at them and all these loans. And remember, they're on their own and they're 18. So they don't have to tell parents anything. And so we let these young leaders loose for the world to just pour all this debt on them. And then we're concerned when they graduate with all this debt. I mean, go ahead, Mr. Cole. Tell me your thought.
I say that's true. Like when that class that y'all had, the class that y'all teaching us right now, when it came to my school, I was like really happy because, yeah, like you said, we don't learn about none of that. Like in other schools, I know they're not learning about nothing that y'all teaching us about credit and investments and all them things. I know other schools not learning about that. So I feel like we lucky for sure for having y'all and for y'all teaching us that stuff.
And we appreciate you wanting to learn, because they have to show up to class, we have to quiz them, all sorts of topics. So with the Jeopardy competition, do you know the date of it? When is this competition?
I think it's March 12th.
Yes, that's next Saturday. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
It's next Saturday, and it's going to be 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the De La Salle Education Center, and it's going to be on Block 37. Somebody said, why do they call it Block 37? Do you know?
I don't know.
No, that's good. I told them it's because it's on 37th Street, because a lot of them can't say my block, 18th block. And so someone was asking me, why do they call it Block 37? Are there 37 blocks in there? So I was telling them why. And so we're like prepping or repping. Is it repping or prepping? Whatever. We're shouting out to Block 37 about the competition. And what's going to happen, these 6 young leaders, they've been studying together. I mean, we're always talking about team stuff. They've been studying together in their class, different things. But somebody wants to win. And so in talking about that Fab 4, we have a really special piece we do with this. And Ms. Pierce may want to mention it a little bit as well. But I want Nicole first with that Fab 4, we've asked every young leader, and we did this a couple of years ago, and it worked so well, if they could pick 4 people that they're going to study with every day to help them win the competition. One of them has to be someone from in the home, so that when they go home, they're studying with somebody. Then the other 3 can be friends or whoever. But the great thing is that on the day of the competition, if you get stuck, you can only call one of those 4 people to help you with the answer. And they can have the answer sheet. They can have whatever they want, but you can't. So it's who did you pick for your Fab 4, Mr. Cole? Do you mind telling us?
Yes, I chose my mom, my brother, and then 1 friend and 1 cousin.
Hey, man, that's wonderful.
And have you guys been studying a little bit already? A little bit?
I've been studying with my brother the most because he lives in my house, so it's like it'd be easy. But yeah, I've been studying on my own too. Mostly on my own too.
That's good. And so does your brother, is he finding it interesting too, some of the information?
Kind of, but it's like he already knew about all this stuff. So
okay,
because he's 18, so yeah.
Okay. But he's older. That's wonderful. Yeah. Mr. Boyd, you have a question, because I've seen you write 3 things. I know you have a question, so I can talk. So
let me tell you, that you have made me think about so many things, but one thing immediately, you have heard me quote the Reverend Millis Doc Bass more than once, and his phrase, the relevance of intelligence.
Yes.
And Brother Coleman, as our young people are studying in school, what research has proven is young people learn at a higher level when they can relate what they're learning to something that they're doing. So it's one thing to study, it's another thing to apply. And applying what you're doing, I mean, every time you mention something, another thought comes to my mind about how important the Alpha Tour is, how important the competition is. And when we talk about historical Black colleges and universities, one of the things that our colleges have over most is studying in groups. So the thing that I thought about, another thing that I thought about that I wanted to bring to Jim Coleman as it relates to the relevance of intelligence is how important in this particular time to make what young people are studying relevant. And here's an aside for you attorney brothers. This is just an aside. I grew up on the south side of Chicago on 37th Street. And when you asked whether it was prepping or repping, back in the day, now remember I was born in 1942.
Yes, sir.
Back in the day, it was repping. We were repping our neighborhood, and we referred to it as the dirty 30s. If you lived from 30th Street to 39th Street, you were tough, and we were the dirty 30s. Yes. So these are the clean 37th block. But I'm sorry, Brother Coleman, I'm all over the place now.
Funny.
But please come on in.
Your point is well taken about the times that we're in. I don't want to drift off into history, but I've been doing some reading where this year and next year may very well change the course of history as we know it. But more importantly to our youth is that particularly being able to go on to college, and if for those that are not able to go on to college, at least go to technical school or going into the armed services, because for our youth's parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, they could always lean on being able to dig a ditch or something. And in these times, there's more digital ditch digging than there is physical ditch digging. And so therefore, it's going to be important that they have those kinds of skills. And so going on college or something beyond high school is very important, very, very important.
Absolutely. And I'd like to, if you'll let me talk a little bit about after the competition. First we have some amazing sponsors. And the reason with some amazing sponsors, attorney Alfred Jordan, he is always sponsoring everything that we do. And so he's a sponsor of the competition. His son competed last year and won first place. And they always want to tell everybody that. So I'm just going to say it only because they're not here. Here, Mr. Versey.
I think Mr. Versey cheated. I don't know.
They just studied. He just drilled his people. It was, and so, but Mr. Eccles, Mr. Jim Eccles, he's with Renaissance Training Management Solutions. He's also going to be an innovation center sponsor. Mr. Brian Ross with Edward Jones, he's also a sponsor of this competition. The reason I'm mentioning these people, and then Parrish Construction. She's also a sponsor of this event. And then, of course, Mr. Versey Lark, Make It Rain. And then Ms. Samantha Golly, I'm one of our KU PhD angels. And they all are pretty much innovation center sponsors. And here's why that's important. A big part of financial literacy for all of us is once we get jobs and we invest and we do things, or we start these businesses and we do these side hustles, we normally are becoming consultants and little small businesses, of ourselves. And how do we take that innovation and turn that into dollars and more opportunities? So as we teach our young people these things through Mr. Versie and some others, as part of our classes we do with them, we have the opportunity on March 21st through the 25th. The same time, some of our students are going on the HBCU tour. The students that aren't going on the tour, we're going to be at Junior Achievement. We're going to be working. Well, first, we're going to be visiting banks on Monday. Again, we got Money Making Monday. And then on Tuesday, we're going to be working to visit a couple of health centers. We're working with Samuel Rogers, his granddad. But we also have some of our CHWs that work at some local agencies already that are helping us to, see if we can visit some of those places, because we're always trying to remind our young leaders that health is wealth. Now, when you're older, you really understand that. But when you're younger, you don't really understand it as much. But I do know that Ms. Braylon is sharing some good stuff with our young leaders, because they had texted me here or there, Miss Nicole, both Nicoles did, and shared me some things they've been learning, and they're doing some good stuff. So visiting health, interest on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we're going to be doing hero leadership, but definitely helping them to take some of their ideas and they're creating a business plan. And Mr. Versie and Mr. Stallings, they talked a couple of weeks ago, he's the director of De La Salle. They talked about, since so many of the young people there at De La Salle, they all have these side hustles, whether it's nails or hair or beads or clothes, like all these young people had these side hustles. And we're like, what's going on? So from that, Mr. Versie, being the business person that he is, he said, we need to have a business expo fair, right? And so the young leaders, our end of session project for this De La Salle Block 37 group we're with for this semester, at the end of our showcase they will basically present a business expo, getting every student in their school that has a business idea or something they're selling. They're going to basically have booths and stuff, and we can come and buy stuff from them. And isn't it amazing? So that's what we're going to be working heavily with Junior Achievement on, that week, getting that business plan done. So our leaders, our young leaders that's their class project, meaning putting it in not just perspective, but in motion. And so all the stuff they're learning about investing, business credit's going to come talk to them. There's so many people they're going to pour into them about how to plan this event, how to maybe fund it, how to do everything, how to keep it going, how to sustain it. How do you pay yourself? Taking all your money, opening bank accounts, saving. Nicole, what do you think about that? Isn't this exciting?
Yeah, I like the idea. So it could give them an opportunity to just to interact with people, and maybe they never really had no sales before, so having that, they have more sales, maybe.
Which means more money, for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? And we're gonna do some TikToks. Mr. Versie likes TikToks and all that. I don't know about all that, but I know the young leaders, they know all that. He's big into marketing. So they're gonna be able to do all that stuff and promote this business expo and help everybody that wants to in their school to earn some money.
Yeah, that's good.
You know something, Mr. Boyd? I know he's ready to tell us something. I can see it in your face.
Actually,
tell me.
What I wanted to do was mention two things.
I'm sorry.
The first one, a profound thank you to Paris Holly and Nicole Ursery and Nicole Tebbis and Heaven Hart and the Hart family, as it were, but the Smart Club. And Jim Coleman, let me tell you why I am thanking them in a profound and sincere way. I mean this very sincerely. Our program is Wave Your Grades. We are asking American students to strive for excellence in honor of our troops. And when somebody hears about the program, Wave Your Grades, they think that we might be attempting to recruit young people into the military, or they don't quite understand what the program is about. And what I am suggesting is, when we ask veterans and even active duty troops to meet these young people, I think it helps them to feel like they are not serving in vain, because these young people are serious about their education. So that's the first thing. Valencia brought us a profound thank you to you and the young people you bring to us. That's one. The second thing was, and this is an aside, but I wanted to say to Jim Coleman a profound thank you for calling upon Don Maxwell the Younger. And let me tell you why. When we were doing the Generation Rap Youth Advisory Council, comprised of young people, from year to year, we would have young people, as many as from a dozen to maybe as many as 30 in our Generation Rap Youth Advisory Council. Don Maxwell was president. We had 103 high school students participating under his leadership.
Wow.
In Generation Rap Youth Advisory Council in the 90s. But here's now, Valencia, you read my mind because I had so many things. I have this question for BEU. With all that Nicole and Paris are talking about today, is there any school, not just junior achievement, not just the links, not just someone associated with, but is there an actual school taking advantage of this kind of program within the school itself? The competitions, the group study, all of these kinds of things.
Oh, so actually the school that we are in, because we work with students at so many schools, sometimes they're just from different schools. All the students that we're working with in this particular project, this competition, they all are at De La Salle Education Center. So De La Salle Education Center.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the school. And
on 37th Street.
On 37th Street, 37th and Truth. And the competition will actually be there on Saturday, March 12th. And if people are interested, they can always, let us know. We try to, make sure that we're getting the community to come out, and support. One of the exciting things that happened is when the leadership team at De La Salle, when they really learned of all that we were really sharing with the young leaders, and especially as they were really participating with it and being interested and learning it, and they could tell, we follow the state standards of a personal finance course. One of the things that Missouri and other states have done is they do require every student has to take and pass, a class in personal finance. So for De La Salle, we are providing all instruction for that credit. So the students, they don't only get, they work like retreats in the afternoon, and Nicole, she may tell us a little bit more about that, if she'd like. So they're with us during the day, 3 days a week, doing lesson instruction. They then work after school at a place called Retreats, and they make dog treats, and they learn to market and stuff like that, and they get paid for that. So then after that, they work with us. They're going to do this competition. They're going on the college tour. We are helping make sure that whatever their career interests are, the same career club stuff that we've always done. We've just now, with BEU as the partner for the Smart Career Club, we have a stronger opportunities to partner with bigger organizations to really offer a strong education package that schools can use as a personal finance credit, because that's how good we are. And Nicole will tell you, we are good at what we do, and they're learning some amazing stuff. But Mr. Boyd, before Generation Rap, Miss Nicole, I don't know if you remember when we had the parent meeting the other night, we were talking about Mr. Jim Nunley, and we were talking about Generation Rap, and they didn't know what Generation Rap was. So the reason this is important is because Mr. Carl Boyd, he is the founder and the original creator of the Generation Rap show. And a lot of the young people there at De La Salle, they don't know what it is. And even though it's still happening. And so I thought, because you mentioned it, and I didn't forget it, but I forgot about even the discussion we just had last week until you mentioned that Generation Rap. Please, just tell us about it a little more, Mr. Boyd, please, because I mean, it's your baby. You can explain it better than me.
Well, I'll try not to be too lengthy, but it is something that I feel strongly about. I asked KPRS FM if I might do a program. This was in May 1987, called Concerning Learning. I started teaching in 1964. I had been an educator for those 20 plus years. And I wanted to do a program that focused on all aspects of education and how to enhance the learning prospects for young people. And I did Concerning Learning a few months. And Freddie Bell and Prim Carter came to me and said, Carl, can you do a program for young people? Because Freddie Bell, when he was growing up, was exposed to some program for youth. It happened that I had the Generation Rap. Many people don't know this, Brother Coleman, but it was a TV program before it was a radio program. And there was a community.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Really? Wow, he is one of the few people who actually remembers that. They had a community access TV channel, and Lincoln Academy's gifted class were the producers of the TV show. And when Freddie Bell and Prim Carter came to me, I said, I have a program like that we were doing on TV. And in December 12th, 1987, I started a program called the Generation Rap. And the first caller called in, and she was 14-year-old Herelda Scales. And her first words were, I think teenagers are very concerned and doing just fine. That was the beginning of the Generation Rap, December 12th, 1987. And very quickly, I'm sorry, I'm taking longer than I should have, but I'll say this very quickly. Mike Myers, Jim Coleman, you remember Mike Myers?
Yeah.
Daughter, Maury T. Myers, was a student. And he said, Carl, my daughter wants to talk to you. And she was at St. Teresa's. And she said, I want to talk to you about that radio show you're doing for teens. I said, really? And she said, yes, I've got some ideas. And I said, come back next week and we'll have a meeting. And she brought 14 girls from St. Teresa's to talk about the ideas. And I said, we will form a group if you bring 14 boys with you next week, because they were all girls leading. And the last thing I'll say is, when I started Generation Rap in 1987, I said to teenagers, I will give you a voice. When Jim Granddad Nunley took over when I left for Arizona in 1999, he said to teenagers, I will give you a show. And their leadership ballooned, and that's a blessing. So I'll stop there.
No, that is awesome. That is awesome, because I do eventually, because we talked about it and they didn't know, but the parents knew. But none of the students knew. We're just like, you don't know, but and they didn't. And that's okay, because we got to expose them. The reason I asked this beautiful young lady, she's another student. But we're older students. She's one of my community health worker, former students. And she knew about the Generation Rap, the TV show. So, and her name is Miss Sherry Tahi White, Miss Sherry White. And so wanted to make sure that
I'm a St. Teresa's graduate.
Okay.
Oh, wow. See there? Adrian.
Yes.
Outstanding.
I said, come over and sit with us. One of the things that I'm going to share with Miss Nicole, the thing that I hope that you're seeing more and more as we bring people into the classrooms and stuff is that we're real about helping you to be prepared to meet the opportunities that are going to come before you. And a lot of it is really up to you to, as you're doing, to soak it in, ask us questions, participate, do all you can. And as you do that, we're going to keep watching. And the more that we're here, we're watching, you'll keep getting a voice. And we'll be like, well, hey, come do this now. Come do this. Come this scholarship. Come do this. Come do this. And there's Miss Ferris. So we're all in the BEU office. So.
Oh, excellent. Now you're talking. There you go.
But the reason it was important to, I wanted to let you know who Miss Sherry is and what she's doing. I'm a professor at MCC, but also I'm a professor at KU. And so some of my students are often older. And as community health workers, the big thing that we do, and again, we can learn in a class, that's cool. But we actually also, as older people, try to make sure that we're putting things into action. So we are lifelong learners. That's why I wanted to make sure I'm sharing it that way. And so earlier we were out down at the Blue Valley, the project that our CHWs, our teachers took on this year is helping homelessness. So we've been working with Blue Valley, the Blue Valley Park area. There's about 200 homeless people there, different times. I mean, it's a really big situation. And y'all know we have that going on here in Kansas City. And so we try to go down and try to help navigate, really talk, see what people need and deliver. And then again, BEU, they partnered and they're working with us we have a CHW, BEU, CHW service team league where we provide internships. As I was telling y'all, BEU, I appreciate that the different things that they allow me to think about and bring to innovate, Miss Nicole. I mean, if I think about it, it makes some sense and I present, and they normally will say, yes, bring it in. So we get to merge a lot of those ideas and make things happen. And so one of the things we're doing now, Mr. Coleman, he came out to the site with us this morning because we're saying we need to build some tiny homes, and everyone keeps talking about it. And we've been always telling the city, with the BEU and some of our leaders, our people, we'll go and serve all day long, but we have to have a place to serve as well. So we are trying to make sure that Mr. Coleman and others, they're bringing together some of their experts to really help us, the CHW team, to really put into action our desire that people that are houseless, because they're not all broken stuff. There's working poor, there's people, stuff happens, financial literacy, stuff happens. Do a misstep, we all could be, somewhere else, for a minute. So I just wanted to tell Ms. Sherry, thank you. And that we all are learning all the time, Ms. Nicole, and whether it's in small certificate programs, going to college, just talking to each other a lot, sharing wisdom. We're really glad that you joined us today because we just want you to know, we want to hear from you. We want to hear what you want to do. We're really here to back you guys. And I know in the class we say it, but I also hope you feel it. We're really, really, really here to back you all in your dreams, like people did for us, like Mr. Boyd and Mr. Dudley, and yes, ma'am, because we love you, ma'am.
And we want Miss Nicole Essery to stay on until the end, because one of the most famous things about Generation Rap, and I listened to it as I was driving my little ones down around back in the day, is listen until the end of this show, and you will hear Mr. Boyd, as always, sign off to his wonderful spouse, and I always love that. So stay on until the very end.
Praise God.
Okay.
I thank you for that so much. But and let me say to Valencia and Jim Coleman, for the celebration for Curtis McClinton, you introduced me to a gentleman who has been very important in some of the things that I have done subsequently, whose name is Sean Barber. And my prayer is that you are continuing to use his resources. That is one great young man. And I have you to thank for the relationship that I now enjoy with him. And just as an aside, Sister White and Sister Holly, next door, there's a little, I don't know whether you want to call it plaque or something, but there's a picture of Prim Carter from KPRS in my office right behind the door. And you can kind of read something about Prim, because quite quite a special lady, and pretty Bill for that matter. But yeah, please, if you're not calling, let me call Sean Barber. You introduced me to him, but he's a valuable resource.
Okay, wonderful. And it just made me think of something. So Miss Sherry, we're talking about, she works at Swope. So again, she's already making things happen. She's a NOAA lady. So she's trying to help us to get a tour there, Miss Nicole, that health as well. See, all these people, they work at places, and they got connections, and she's going to try to help us to, on that Tuesday, add them to our tour at Swope. So Samuel Swope. And so I was just thinking, maybe we can go to the radio station. What do you think about that?
Sounds
I'm
sounds like
sorry.
a plan to me. Go ahead, Nicole. I'm sorry.
I like that. I would like to go because
You like to go to the radio station?
Yeah, it's always good to
Well, when Mr. Walker comes
things.
back, we will ask him if we can follow up and ask him about that. Is that okay? Mr.
Please do.
That would be exciting, Mr. Coleman. So, Mr. Coleman, he's helping me to keep track of what we're doing on that tour that week. The different stuff.
Yep.
And so,
I'm not gonna be here.
You know what? Because you're going to HBCU tour. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do then. We're gonna wait to do that tour when you come back, okay? On the radio.
Okay,
station.
thank you.
You know what? Because you're here on the radio, so you have to go to the radio station tour. That's only fair.
Okay.
See what happens when you
Thank
show
you.
up. So we will wait for that. We'll do it closer to like the expo booth or something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now,
Thank you.
Sister Broadus, you were looking at me and you would say, it looks like he wants to say something. That's the way I feel about Sister White. It looks like she wants to say something.
Oh, I don't know what to say. I grew up on KPRS 103.3. So, that was the lifeline. That's where the music came in. And then when I moved back to the city, there was a 107.3. And I was like, okay, well, I guess they didn't move this off KPRS to 107.3 because I was like, what am I listening to? But I will say this. I always tuned in on Saturdays to the Young People Show. And it was informing me about what they're thinking and what they're doing. And, so I think it was an excellent show. Still, I don't know if it's still going on.
It is.
Okay. Well, there you go.
It still is, correct?
I think that there is a hiatus during
The COVID.
the pandemic.
Oh.
And I do know that Kakithia Hill, are you familiar with her? And I will, yes, and they were talking about getting G-Rappers back together and possibly approaching the station. And the last I talked to was Lady T when she was leading the young people. So there will be more heard about that, I'm sure.
Yay.
Thank you.
This is good stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Praise God. Now I know, Sister Valencia, Brother Coleman, that there are folks who want to know beyond the college tour, but in general, how they can keep in touch and have their young people involved with you. And it is just refreshing to watch what's happening with BEU. If there is a parent, instructor, mentor, how do they get involved at whatever level?
So if they want to give us a call at 816-612-1083, that's just my cell. And as always, they should really text me and say, hi, my name is, and I like my daughter or son to get involved, and I'll text you back. That's just the easiest way to do that. I think that we'll be promoting different ways for people to get involved. We will be doing a summer academy. So once the semester is done, then we'll be enrolling to do a summer piece. And that's when we get the students involved and going all around, and we'll do gardening. We do all sorts of stuff. ACT, we do all sorts of stuff. So we'll be doing that again now that we can be in person. And then, of course, since we have our CHWs, we'll be hopefully, and that health as well is so important because it was about mental health, just hygiene, everything. And we do it not just for older people, for younger people too. And so I'm really excited about where we're going to be doing
Excellent.
CHWs this summer to focus on our young people even more and get them involved in learning how to
Outstanding.
help navigate for their parents and stuff like that. That's a big deal. Our teens are with their parents and grandparents so much. The more that they understand about illnesses and how to help and signs, so we'll be doing a lot more of that with the CHW team.
Well, with our final 2 minutes or so, let me ask if there are parting words, starting with Nicole Essery.
Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
We're just getting ready to end the program, so we want ending remarks from each of our guests. Anything you want to shout out?
Thank you to both my teachers for always being there when I need them. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be on this. And
my honor.
Yeah. Thank you for everybody that's helping me. Y'all really, or especially Miss V, you just so much of help.
Yes. Amen.
See, it's the future.
And Mr. Cole.
I keep saying I want to make sure she comes. Interns in my law practice. It's
now you're talking.
Don't forget. So you come and intern.
Right.
She's sharp.
We'll let Miss V have the last word. I just want to say that when she asked me what schools are on the tour, and they'll be down in Florida at Florida A&M in Tallahassee, Florida State in Tallahassee, Fort Valley, Albany State, Savannah State, North Carolina Central, North Carolina A&T, as I said, St. Augustine, and then wrapping up at Harris Stowe in St. Louis. And it's very exciting.
Dr. Alicia Malloy is at North Carolina Central. Please, Sister Broadus.
Yes. I'm going to remember to ask you about Sister Malloy so we can make sure we connect with her so we can let her know we hang out with her dad once a month. So
thank you.
That'll be nice if we can make that connection. I definitely really want to just Kansas City. Remember Akila the Bee and how the more that the community kind of encouraged her as she was studying the spelling bee and just cheered her on wherever she went. They said, "Are you studying? You're going to win." They just did all this energy around her to help her to be awesome and confident. That's what we need for our students. We want, if you all see Miss Nicole or any student studying for, especially competing with their brains, just inspire them and wish them well. And if you're interested in joining us on Saturday, March 12th, 9 to 12 at the LaSalle Education Center to see this competition. It's going to be amazing. Please just reach out to Mr. Boyd or to myself and we'll get you an invite. It is an invite only, so.
Praise God. Oh, good.
Yes, invite only. So we have to manage for food and all that type of stuff and seating and with COVID.
Thank you.
If people want to come, we will make a way, but we just have to know who wants to come. So 816-612-1083 and Mr. George Walker, don't know if you heard, we want to come to the radio show, but it'll be April, May. So Miss Nicole wants to come and hang out and see what you got going on. So
all right, thank you.
I promise.
Thank you so much.
Amen. Thank you. You hear that, Mr. Cole?
As we ordinarily end the program with a morning message to students across the USA, your Stoots for Boots message for this day, March 5th. Boots on the ground for Stoots success bound. Boots on the ground for Stoots success bound. My name is Carl Boyd. Thank you, Valencia Broadus, Jim Coleman, Nicole Ursery, Sister White. Thank you, Louis George Walker. Gracious God and wonderful Wanda. I'm on my way home.
Amen.
And at the Lone Star Flight Museum in Galveston. I told him my daughter and I were fans of the Red Tails, and my brother even named his company after them. Plus, the three of us just loved flying. He sat down and told me the story of his father, Chauncey Spencer, an African-American aviator born in Lynchburg, Virginia in 1906. His mother was the Harlem Renaissance poet Anne Spencer.
All right.
Spencer saw his first airplane flight at the age of 11. After finishing college, despite his family's fame and respect in the South, no one would give him flying lessons in Lynchburg. A family friend, Oscar DePriest, the first black congressman since Reconstruction, suggested that Spencer move to his home district in Chicago to take flying lessons. In 1934, Spencer joined with a group of African-American aviators in organizing the National Airmen Association of America, the NAAA. Working as a kitchen helper in a Chicago restaurant, Spencer used most of his weekly wages for flying lessons. Later, he
Okay,
and a handful
Carl,
of
are you
companions
ready?
bought an obsolete airplane and set out to repair it themselves.
Gonna ease
2
you
years
over there.
after that, he and fellow NAAA member Dale Lawrence White flew a rented Lincoln Page biplane.
All right, you're on.
Good afternoon and welcome once again to Wave Your Grades, KUAW.org. KUAW stands for Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. And our program, Wave Your Grades, is blessed to have the founder of KUAW.org as our producer engineer, and it has been repetitive Saturdays for a while, and with all that Louis George Walker has to do, let us at Wave Your Grades express our profound appreciation for getting us on every Saturday from 1 until 2 p.m. Those of you who have followed Wave Your Grades, all 2 or 3 of you, know that our first Saturdays belong to the Smart Club, and that is indeed, Brother Walker, when our audience increases, and we are pleased to have as guest host, as it were, Valencia Broadus, founder of the Smart Club, and she has her guests whom she will introduce. So once again, welcome to Wave Your Grades. I'm Carl Boyd, your host. Let us hear now from Valencia Broadus.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to say it's 64 degrees outside, not 82 like it was the other day, and it rained a little bit. So I just wanted to share some weather because it's been so off and on, in general with weather, just like everything else going on in the world. Some days are good, some days are bad. A lot of it is all about how do we cope with it? How do we kind of, what's our resiliency monitoring strategies to, kind of still make it through the day. I've got a couple of awesome people with me. Miss Paris Holly, extraordinaire. She does so many things with us. She's our intern at the BEU, helps us do different projects here and volunteering. But then also, Miss Paris, she is a former financial Jeopardy contestant, and that's important for today because we also have Miss Nicole E. I say Nicole E, but Miss Nicole Ursery, and she's with us. And if you can, please, turn your camera on. I know last month we didn't ask, but I told everyone this month we would ask a little bit just so we can just see them here or there, just to talk with us. So if you'd even just give us a quick hello, Miss Nicole.
Hello, I was going to say I can't really hear, so I was going to ask for the meeting number so I could put on my computer because I don't know what's going on with my phone now.
No, good morning, and that's great. So
Good morning.
Good morning. So the link that I sent you via text, you can email that to yourself. Or do you want me to email it to you?
Okay. It's fine. I got my AirPods on now. It's working.
You good?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good. And do you mind letting us see your awesomeness and kind of turn your camera on just for 20 seconds and say hello to us, please?
Yes.
And while we are looking forward to seeing Nicole Ursery, let us say to our guests, knowing how busy Valencia Broadus continues to be, that it is actually good afternoon.
Oh, it's not morning.
That's
right. We started this morning. Miss Harris and I, Mr. Coleman with us as well. That's pretty funny. Thank you, because it is afternoon. We it's interesting. One of the things that we do every Saturday morning, we have a financial empowerment group. There she is. Hello, awesomeness. How are you?
There you go.
Hello.
Hello to you.
hello. And Miss Nicole Ursery, just so you all know, about her fabulousness. She's a student at De La Salle Education Center, but she's studying to be an attorney, and so she's going to